So, as we are edging closer to the full moon tomorrow, times are becoming more severe, edgy, and also more, sorry to say, historically important. This is really a moment of crossroads. This is a Yeah. So I have underestimated the role of Venus here. So I have to talk more about Venus because it's here all about the way we are expressing ourselves artistically, and even if it may be necessary to express yourself as a drama queen, if you can't help it, do it. I don't know if I tell it that to myself or others. But yesterday I have seen and heard one of my greatest role models here in Hawaii, Kealoha Pishata, crying in public for the stupidity of people who are ignorant and just don't want to listen to certain people because they think they're below them, because they're either female or they have a darker skin, or they're somehow designated to serve as serfs, and that's why they have to shut up and do as they're told, or else they're going to be cast out, poisoned, or poisoned as a pest, or what have you. So it's really very important how we are expressing ourselves in this time, and I don't have a proper solution yet. I can only tell you that look at this formation here between Venus in opposition to Pluto here, which could also be standing for a very regimented, patriarchal, bureaucratic power structure. And here's Venus, and she comes out, and she's well-dressed, and she's beautiful, and she said, wait a minute, but I'm queen. How dare you? So there's an opposition. Now look at this formation here between Pluto, loving Neptune, the quick transformer of Uranus in the Earth sign. So there could be also tomorrow, there could be somewhere, could be some eruptions on the planet. And then here Mars right next to, and Mars forming a beautiful sextile, not very strong, not very accurate, to Venus. But what Venus is going to do, she is going to irritate age-old patriarchic power structures. This is a karmic angle, and I've just seen a video from an astrologer that I will look at more. I've just posted it on my page, Starlov. I appreciate this man, what he said. So I learned something new. And that stands for, like, when you ever see these long green lines, they're 150-degree angles, and they stand for unresolved karma. If in our personal charts we have this kind of lines, long green lines, not small kind 30-degree angle lines, but the 150-degree angles, that always stands for unresolved karma, something that we are bringing over from other lives where we should have solved it, but we haven't. So the longer it stays there unresolved, the more irritating and the more ugly it becomes. And I always used to tell people, it's like, you have this a cook pot and it's burned. You burn something in it, and you're supposed to scrub it and clean it, and you put water on it, and you put it in a corner, you put the lid on it and let it rest. And there it festers, and the water starts stinking inside, and the longer it rests there, the longer you don't even want to look in this corner anymore because it's so ugly. So you want to look someplace else, and there's your pot, but you still have to scrub it. Or not, or you just throw the whole pot out and buy a new one. That's a solution, probably. So that stands for these long angles. Called quincunx, it's 150 degrees, always stands for unresolved karma. So here on Hawaiian Island, we have very beautiful, graceful, matriarchal structures that are overshadowed by very brutal patriarchal, warlike, and cruel structures. And what I have noticed when I was researching matriarchal patterns in patriarchal structures, that the younger patriarchal structures are in a certain region of our beautiful planet, the more oppressing and the more cruel they have to be, because the matriarchal structures underneath are so alive and so strong. So for instance, when I traveled in West Africa, and especially when I married 3 West African men, one after the other, for them to get residence permission in Europe, and then I have learned about these cultures, how incredibly strong African women are, and instead of following the mainstream emancipation, where the women are supposed to become like men in order to be taken seriously, the grace of these incredibly strong women who are completely independent, who can withstand and stay loving in polygamistic situations, who can connect with other women like sisters instead of being jealous of them and trying to destroy them, although this also happens, especially when it's not in a traditional way, but with, where the mistress is now trying to get all the resources from the husband that normally the wife needs. So there is this horrible mixture between the Western lawlessness and the partially very beautiful and healthy and loving traditions, what is happening in colonialism. But still, and I've also noticed this here in Hawaii. See, Hawaii is basically one big military base with a little bit tourist, I call it pimp's paradise, around it. And every military post needs brothels around. You have a whole country that has become known as one beautiful brothel, which is Thailand, and Thai means peace, and that's where all the Vietnam veterans, all the Vietnam soldiers went for their vacations, and so the poor Thai people, they learned how to sell their daughters for the American soldiers.